Welcome to this week's Decent News, where we, the developer-loving team at Decentralized, bring you recent updates in the world of decentralized development, and we share quick tips that help developers learn and get started building on Web3. And we do it with a lot of love, and we have fun while we do it. There's a lot going on this week, so let's get straight to it. Starting out, we'd like to share some Solana-based news, and that is Solana is opening up a beta developer program. If you're a Solana fan, this is great news because you'll be able to get in early, start developing, and help provide feedback and be ahead of the curve. Check out the link in the show notes below for more info. And in gas-related news, Polygon's client development team recently updated the recommended setting for minimum gas prices in order to fight spam. This update changes the recommended gas fee from 1 to 30 GWay. And in recent headlines that you may find interesting, Square is considering building a Bitcoin mining system. Steam has banned all games that utilize blockchain tech, and in response, Epic Games will welcome games that make use of blockchain technology. And in some exciting news from our team, the universe and the metaverse weren't enough for Decentralized, so we are now building the hyperverse. What is the hyperverse, you ask? It's an open, decentralized marketplace where developers will be able to create smart contract modules like Lego blocks. Other developers will then be able to use those modules to create applications. It'll be child's play. Yes, we are pumped up about the hyperverse and all the goodness that it will surely bring. If you want to learn more, visit your nearest Lego store, but if you want to learn more about hyperverse, visit decentology.com. Shifting gears, it's now time for everybody's favorite segment, and that is Decent Dev Tips, which is that helpful segment where we share tips, knowledge, and learning sourced directly from the developers in the Decentralized community. These Decent Dev Tips come from the places where we engage with developers online. Places like our frequent Twitter spaces, our live stream developer office hours, our YouTube channel, and in our Discord server, just to name a few. Check out the show notes below for more info on how to find us in all of these locations. Our goal is for these Decent Dev Tips to help you better understand Web3. This week, we've got 3 items to share, and the first one is gas fees. We often have developers who are just getting started in Web3 ask, what is a gas fee? If you're wondering what gas fees are, then you're like many of us out here. The concept of gas fees doesn't exist in Web 2, so it's a whole new construct that is a central piece of the Web 3 or decentralized development model. In order for data to be written to the blockchain, it must first be mined and included in a block. This mining process is not free and consequently requires a fee that is paid to the miners. So, in Web 3, you could think about gas fees as a cost that is associated with getting your data written to a blockchain. The second item is around the application architecture of a blockchain dApp. Generally speaking, in Web 2, developers are accustomed to having a presentation layer, a business logic layer, and a data layer. Web 3 has some similarities, but also it has some new constructs and terminology due to the differing decentralized model. In Web 3, you still have the front end or presentation layer, but you also have a wallet, which signs transactions and sends them to the network. You also have smart contracts, which is where you write the business logic of your dApp. So while similar to Web 2, the Dapp Architecture also has a few differences that become commonplace to Web 3 developers. And rounding out Decent Dev Tips, that new construct that we just mentioned, a smart contract. What exactly is a smart contract? Well, smart contracts are a concept that every developer has to learn on the journey to Web 3 development, as smart contracts are at the core of the decentralized development model. A smart contract is a simple, self-executing piece of code that's stored on a blockchain that runs when predetermined conditions are met. In smart contracts, the terms of the agreement between the buyer and seller are directly written into the lines of code. Hopefully those dev tips were decent enough for you. I know that I, for one, feel a tad bit smarter after that segment. And that's it for this week's Decent News. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your support. And if you have news that you'd like for us to share, please first ask yourself, is this decent news? And if it is, then feel free to send it to decentnews@decentology.com. Signing off, I'm Clint Patterson.